Сука, не поверила, что мне 17. Да, это Москва, и мы умеем отрываться. Мы умеем делать звук, мы умеем делать баксы. Эй, эй, нигеры стреляют, словно М16. Сука, не поверила, что мне 17.
In the beginning, we are told that today we will stand on the ground and see the rain of meteoroids falling from the sky. That is, today a lot of pieces of rocks were going to fall from the sky on the ground. Everyone wants to see this scene because it is a very rare thing in life. Now the rain of these meteoroids was going to be quite a lot. That's why all the space, that is, the programs of the sky are done from the world. So now everyone could stand on the ground and see this scene with their own eyes. After this, we see the main character of the story, a professor named Alex. He was also ready to see this thing with his family. In addition, different people from all over the world were also looking at the sky through a telescope. He was very eager to see the rain of meteoroids because everyone wants to enjoy that thing. In EOS, a team of NASA, whose leader was Dr. Mehdi, was also keeping an eye on this thing with his team. Now this night a lot of big pieces of meteoroids are shown in the sky, whose size was so big that if any of them hit the ground, the world would be destroyed. Now a couple was shown in which the boy was a scientist and he was going to marry his friend soon. This scientist had also set up his telescope because like everyone else, he was also very excited. But his friend wanted to talk to him about marriage. Now it was shown that some big meteoroids were moving towards the ground. Suddenly they changed their direction and now they started moving towards the moon. Seeing which everyone gets very scared. Then suddenly a big piece of a meteoroid comes to the surface of the moon and gets destroyed. Due to which there was a blast and a very large part of the moon broke. Due to which now the meteoroid and the moon's meeting start falling towards the ground. Seeing this, Dr. Mehdi immediately informs the president of the US about this. Mehdi and his team find out according to their calculations that in the next hour this meteoroid will come and hit the ground. About which they had also informed the president. Due to which the whole place is closed. But after a while, a small piece of the meteoroid came and hit the ground. Due to which there was a blast and a lot of destruction on the ground. The news of which is immediately reported to the president of the US. A piece of a meteoroid falls into an ocean in Australia. Due to which a very big tsunami wave is formed there. And because of this, tsunamis begin to occur in Australia and the surrounding countries. But so far, so much destruction has not happened because people had already been removed from there. In a meeting of the president, Mehdi calls him a video and informs him about the situation. Because of this accident of the meteoroid, life has changed its place. It is getting closer to the ground. From the calculation, we have been told that it has come close to 35,000 kilometers of land. This thing is going to bother a lot. What more impact can it have? We are getting to know about this. And how dangerous this impact can be. This is also being found. After hearing this, everyone becomes very worried. Now the first piece of the meteoroid had fallen in Europe. Here the tourist team, that is, the people who had come to visit, were roaming in the jungle. So they're things like machines, devices, compass, etc. They start working in a strange way. The compass, the device that shows them the way, its needle started moving in a strange way. And now as soon as they see, they come to the place where the meteoroid had fallen. Because of which there was a big pit there. And because of this, all their devices, machines, etc. were working in a strange way. Mehdi's team member brings him a new report. After seeing this, it was found that due to this earthquake, tsunami is coming. Seeing this, Mehdi feels that this is not happening because the moon has changed its place. In fact, the reason behind this is something else. Some other impact has happened. Now because this problem was not being solved by Mehdi himself. So she calls Alex. So that he comes and helps Mehdi. But he refused. Saying that since my wife's death, I do not leave my children alone. They were talking that suddenly their call gets cut. Then strange things that happen in different parts of the city will be shown. Like playground, gas station and many other places suddenly electric. Electricity and current start spreading everywhere. Because electricity was being discharged. Because of which often fires are also lit in places. But the scientist does not understand at all that why is this happening. Now we see the scientist whose marriage was about to take place, whose name was Roland. He himself was observing all these situations. And because he lived in Europe, he was giving all the reports to Mehdi. Because of which Roland's friend was a little worried. Because both were about to get married. But Roland was not giving him time. He was always busy with work. But then he promises to convince his friend to get married soon. The next morning Roland comes to the place where the meteoroid had fallen. That is, where the pit was made. He sees that the piece of the falling meteoroid is very small. And there is no magnetic power in it. So he was not able to understand this. Then why did the compass and other devices start working strangely? The compass was repeatedly indicating that direction. He was also thinking. On the other hand, Alex and Mehdi were also talking to each other about this. Roland also started talking to him on the phone. Says to him that the piece of the Metroid I have found. It is very similar to something made in the sky. Which is the meeting of two stars. Listening to this, Alex and Mehdi now begin to understand. That the rain of the Metroid was due to the collision of two stars in the sky. After which the Metroid began to come towards the Earth. One of them came and collided with the Earth. While one collided with the Moon. But the Metroid that was destroyed by going to the Moon. Because of that, a big pit was made there. And now the Moon is working like a very big magnetic magnet. This is the reason that the Earth and the Moon are moving towards each other because of those Metroids. Both of them fell on the Earth and the Moon. Because they are working to pull each other towards the Metroid. Which means it was clear that the Earth and the Moon can also collide with each other. Now all this information is given to Mehdi President. On which he advises that you make your own team. So that you can work on this thing. Because of this, now Mehdi calls Alex. So that he can also join his team. And this time Alex has to come. When this whole team was formed, a special kind of lab was also made for the team. Which was related to the scientists of different countries. And the people who run the space station. The Moon was so close to the Earth. That now it was easily visible from the Earth. Because of which everything related to electricity was going to stop in the next 2 days. Now at night, Alex and Mehdi were sitting in a hotel when they were eating. Then suddenly the lab there started exploding by itself. When they came out to check, they found that a very big electromagnetic wave was passing from the Earth. Which has impacted the gravity of the Earth. That is, the effect of this wave on gravity. Gravity has become very low. Because of which everything in the world. Like people, cars, bikes, machines, airplanes. Everything was flying in the air. And as the wave passed, everything became stable again. That is, it came back to its place. Now Alex tells his companions. That because of the collision of the Metroid. The mass of the Moon, which was already less than the Earth. And it has increased more than the limit. Because of which the weight of the Moon has also increased. It has become heavy. And this heaviness is affecting the small things on the Earth. If this continues, then very soon the Moon will come very close to the Earth. Due to which many more such electromagnetic waves will start coming. Now listening to this, the government makes a plan to stop further destruction. It decides to stop everything like planes, trains, traffic, and people. This news was spread everywhere. That these people have to stay in their own homes. Do not go out at all. After a while, another powerful electromagnetic wave came. Because of which people started flying in the air again. And this time, the system also stops. Because there was a glitch in them. And the way to contact each other. The communication system also stops. A lot of destruction. Due to which now there was no other way than to stay with these people on God's trust. Their Roland has been trying to call his friend for a long time. But he could not contact him. Because when his friend was leaving the train. Then the train also falls on the ground after flying in the air. It was completely destroyed, in which many people were killed and many were injured. And in the fallen train, Roland's friend was also conscious. After doing all the calculations, Maddie tells the president that within 49 days the Moon will collide with the Earth. And this is a very worrying thing. Before that, we have to do something. Roland's friend was unconscious. Some people came and rescued him. That is, they saved his life and took him from there. Now it was found that only 20% of the country is such. Which is not bright because of extra light. Otherwise, there is darkness all over the world except for them. Troubles were increasing. Because these electromagnetic waves were coming again and again, and being more powerful than before. Their NX's daughter was very worried about her dad, because they couldn't talk for a long time. There was no call. There was no call. Whether she starts insisting her grandfather, let's take us to meet dad. First they refused, but when he said again and again, he agreed. She took both the children in the car and started taking them from there to meet Alex. But when they were on the way, a very big electromagnetic wave came again, due to which their car flies in the air and falls far away. They had an accident. In which 3 people were injured. The rescue team had very little things left to save, when a very big ship was moving forward in the sea. Because of the wave, it also rose up in the water. Due to which a lot of his stuff also started flying out. The next moment the ship turned upside down and fell into the water. It was completely destroyed.